Hey guys, hey YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, it's Lorelei Vega here, also known as Brooke Thorne, and today I want to talk to you guys about, I haven't been on YouTube for a while, so forgive me for a few weeks. I've been taking a little breaks, I've been working and stuff, but this week I want to talk about something that I've been doing some research on. I've been doing some research on certain topics. I've been getting you guys have been sending me emails and mail and stuff on Facebook and stuff like that, and I do get your requests, so I will cover those things. Just give me a little time, because I don't like to cover things if I don't do some research on it, so I want to make sure that I cover things in the best detail as possible, as I can do best for you guys, because I don't want to get up here and just sound like I want to talk just because I want to fucking talk. So today I want to talk to you guys about something very interesting I stumbled across when I was doing some research about a few things, and it is something that I do want to talk about that I have mentioned in my other videos about how Earth is a prison planet for certain souls, and the cycle of karma keeps us in this planet, this domain, until we have enough, we've achieved the things we want to achieve on this school, this planet we call Terra, or Earth. We achieve the things we want to achieve, and we're able to break out of this barrier. I would like to cover the plasma barrier. The plasma barrier is this barrier that we can't really see too well. There's a barrier around Earth that you cannot, even at the highest escape velocity, you cannot get out of this barrier. Now, there's been some speculation about how the moon landing was fake and stuff, because there have been people doing research trying to figure out, can you actually get out of this barrier, this boundary? There is a boundary that surrounds Earth that you just can't get out, you know, and it's something funny going on in space, and human beings have been trying to experiment with space travel and space exploration for years, and it's been taking us a long time to our knowledge, because we're not in the elite. The elite probably have been in space or whatever, but there is a boundary, apparently. And this boundary could have a spiritual significance as well as a scientific significance. When I did some research about the plasma boundary, they said this boundary protects Earth from the sun's rays, like too many electromagnetic waves for the Earth. It's just a protection for the Earth. But here's the spiritual aspect. A lot of mystics have been speaking about a boundary around Earth that's preventing folks from leaving unless you reach a certain vibrational level, or a certain level of consciousness, awareness, and growth to exit this boundary. Now, the boundary could just be set in play to protect the Earth on a scientific term, to keep things in balance and check each other things out, because nature is all about balancing itself out. When you have this, you have to have that. When you have hot, you have to have cold. When you have up, you have to have down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe that boundary is there to protect the Earth from some type of waves or frequencies or something, or it could be placed there, like I said in my other video. It's a very sad truth that our planet does have a boundary around it. It's like a quarantine, a force field of some sort that is preventing folks and souls and people physically and physicality getting out of this, even at the highest escape velocity, to get out of this boundary. And people have said they've been to the moon and back, and there's just been speculation that no one has actually ever been to the moon, and there's speculation and theory that the moon is some type of holographic thing, like it's a hologram, or there's a hologram around it to protect it from what's really going on the moon. Maybe there are beings or races or humans of an elite status trying to set something up on the moon. We don't know, but there's a lot of talk about how the moon is strange, its orbit is strange, its placement in the scheme of things is strange. So there's a lot of speculation about the moon. The reason why I got to this boundary, because I was researching something, I can't remember what it was, but I stumbled across this guy's videos, and I remember I used to watch videos about like, you know, the truth seeking and stuff like that, like the truth movement. And I searched a lot of different topics that, you know, are very controversial. And the moon. And I started researching the moon because there was a lot of talk about how it's not real. It's like people say it's either a spaceship or a hologram because its orbit around the Earth and its presence in the scheme of things does not make sense scientifically and mathematically. So I did a lot of research on the moon and a lot of interesting theories. Like the moon is a hologram. It's a computer. It's controlling the matrix. Here's a few theories about the moon. I know this is going off topic about the boundary, but you know, this is kind of part of the topic of the boundary, because if there's a boundary around Earth where you can't escape no matter what you do, no matter how much technology you have, human beings cannot physically escape this boundary. We have to talk about the moon because we have to figure out, has anyone ever been to the moon? Has anyone ever gotten out of this boundary in Earth? Why aren't people telling the truth? Maybe this is another lie to make people think that we can't get out of this boundary. But what is the absolute truth? So here's a few theories that I've heard and done research on. The moon is possibly a computer, a very large holographic type of, I can't describe it because I'm not a scientist, but it's some type of computer that pretty much controls the grid and everything on Earth. Or it could be like some type of spaceship, for a hollowed out spaceship, for a race of beings or something, like watching over the Earth. We just know that it has something to do with surveillance of the planet. That's the every single theory I've heard, the main gist of everything I've just said as far as these theories, that this moon object is definitely, you know, it is for surveillance. It's for surveillance of the planet. They say the moon's not natural. No one understands how it got there. And a lot of people say it's hollow because when they were beaming like frequencies or sound waves or something at it, you could hear a very hollow ping. So it's like, we don't know what the hell the moon is. The moon is in a lot of culture. It's like in romantic culture. It's in like, you know, artwork and stuff. But we don't exactly know what the fuck the moon is and why it's there and why can't anyone give some legit proof as to anyone going there. And this comes back to the boundary. Is there a boundary? Is there a boundary preventing us from, we're quarantined from the rest of the solar system because our race of beings are so fucked up. We can't get the basic shit right. Like loving one another without killing each other mentally, emotionally, or physically. We can't get the basic shit right, so maybe this boundary was set in place until we get the fucking shit right. Because we're not getting off this goddamn planet until we make some changes. Until we stop hating who we are and hating our fellow neighbor. Maybe that's why this boundary is put in play. And like I said, it could be just scientific or it could just be a spiritual thing. Maybe human beings aren't meant to go that far into space until we understand some basics. Because you know what's interesting about human nature is that we always want more, but we don't take the time to appreciate the basic fundamentals and understanding of things. We always want to go above and beyond, but we never want to just do the basic shit. Like first and foremost, why are our fellow human beings starving out here and can't find work and we're out here working like slaves? The way we treat each other and treat nature is definitely not in sync and in flow with the circadian rhythm of things and the rhythm of nature. We can't even get that shit right. So maybe the boundary was set in play until we do understand things, because why would the universe or the solar system want our race of corrupt and just, if we're corrupt, manipulated, not focused on the basic shit. You know, I mean, I can understand if we can't, not everyone can understand quantum physics on all levels, but we can't get the basic shit that doesn't even require a lot of mathematics, because some alien races are very simple. They're very simple beings, and they can, sometimes the simplest shit can explain a lot of shit, okay? I know that doesn't make sense, but it does make sense, because some alien races, they use one symbol to describe a million different things, and you just get it instantly. With human beings, our ego is like, oh, we try to sound smart and look cool and shit. Why don't we just keep it real and keep it basic? Let's just stick to the goddamn basics. Maybe this is why the boundary is here. Because, I mean, hell, if I were Mother Nature and I saw a race of beings that couldn't even get 2 + 2 right, maybe we should be quarantined until we can understand this shit. But I'm going to do a part 2 explaining more in depth about the boundary. I was just giving my opinions, the spiritual aspect of the boundary, and why this planet is quarantined and souls cannot escape. Because, like I said before in another video when I was talking about the truth about this planet, is that when you develop karma and you do really bad negative things, negativity turns into weight. Soul weight. It's like your soul is fat, filled with unfinished business and filled with corruption and just negative baggage. And you cannot get out of the boundary, the plasma boundary, with that type of baggage. Your vibration has to be at a certain level to get through that. That's on a spiritual sense. There's also a grid on the earth as well. There's a grid that we can't see with our 2 eyes. It's a spiritual thing. There's a grid. There's different points on the planet that support this grid. That's why some of these parts on the planet are very heavily guarded. I can't name some for you because I forgot what they were. But there are certain places, like the pyramids, for example, is another point on the grid in Egypt. So it's like there's very, very important specific points on this planet that contribute to the grid of the planet and our systems on this planet. I'm going to talk more in detail about the moon, the boundary, and the grid in part 2 of this video. We'll be right back.